What is up, friends? Happy Friday. Hope the week's treated you well. We're staring at another weekend and these last few days of April, which is absolutely freaking insane to me. I swear I don't even know how many weeks we've been at home now in the middle of the quarantine, and like the rest of the country, just like you guys and the rest of the freaking country, just so ready to get back to an ounce of normalcy. But to try to keep it as normal as I can, we are staring at a weekend, and the weekend is the hardest part of the eating thing, just because well, as much as we can right now, you're out and about and being social and doing what you can, and a lot of folks, we just tend to fall off of that bandwagon if we've actually been on one. In a perfect world of an eating prescription, Monday to Friday would be strict, and it would be dead on red with the eating, and it would just be absolute money. Saturday would actually be a fatter day, and we would take a couple of treat meals there and kind of get off the wagon a little bit. And Sunday would be super, 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 super strict. And we would be like the very hungry caterpillar in the Eric Carle book that ate one nice green leaf and felt much better after fatting out on Saturday. But it doesn't always work that way. So the topic of discussion today, I'm going to try to be as concise as I can be and not let my monkey mind derail and get out there in the left field, is on macronutrients. Okay, so when you and I talked initially, I probably threw some numbers at you just so they were on your radar and gave you like a 30-second to a minute long breakdown on macros. And again, threw some numbers at you just so we're there on the radar. Remember, macronutrients are defined as, more oftentimes in the ratio provided, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. But there's a fourth macronutrient that we would call alcohol that's out there that really can get people off the course of their goals if we're not very careful. Remember this, again, very simply put, remember this. Fat has 9 calories per gram, carbohydrates have 4 calories per gram, and protein has 4 calories per gram. Alcohol has 7 calories per gram, so it puts it right up there in caloric density with fats. Drinking will make you fat. So please understand that drinking will make you fat. Uno mas. Drinking will make you fat. You have to be careful there and take that into very close consideration. Something I will share with you is this. Beer stays cold in my fridge, okay? I've got a full schedule. I've got 3 kids at the house. I'm just telling you, I'm not going to not drink beer, okay? There's trade-offs I will make throughout the week, but I'm not going to not drink beer. But I also understand that I'm making a conscious trade-off there. Careful with the beer. Okay, because beer is liquid bread. Wine is fruit juice, which is loaded with sugar. So keep that in mind. If you really want to dial it in and drop a couple of lbs pretty quickly, I would recommend nothing but clear liquor. Specifically, I'd say vodka and nothing but vodka. And if you're going to add a mixer to it, make sure it's sugar-free. Heck, even just go water or something to that effect. Add lime and citrus. If you need me to, I'll share the recipe for NorCal margaritas again. Again, go clear liquor, vodka particularly, tequila, some people would say, which is I referenced with the margaritas there. Keep it clear. Rule of three. My friends like to make fun of me. I don't really care. Even if it's like we're out and about and having a good time, like I'm a rule of 3 guy, and I try to stay as close to that as I can. I just know, man, if I get over that, I'm just going to feel like dog crap the next morning, and I'm just not good at handling that anymore. I just wake up the next day and feel like I've freaking wasted a day because I feel like dog crap. Certainly there are occasions out there, going to a wedding, have a good time. Those things happen. Go to a concert. Cool, go do that. But just on general daily life stuff, you don't get to live like a bartender and live a healthy life. You just don't get to. Okay, that's just one of the trade-offs they have to make consciously. So back to macros. Alcohol, be careful with. Carbs, protein, fat, alcohol is the fourth. There are a few considerations to keep in mind in regards to a macronutrient prescription. But before I get into those considerations, keep something in mind, and that is that calories are king. The simplest way is that calories count, but don't count calories. Just because they need to be on your radar, but don't obsess over them. Obsessing over calories to me is the equivalent of raking leaves in the front yard. My God, there's just nothing I would rather do less than rake leaves. But by God, sometimes a year, I have to rake leaves. Calories need to be on the radar. But just have to know that. don't deny their existence. They're units of energy. If I eat an entire cow every day, I'm going to gain weight. On the flip side of that, if I go on a complete and utter starvation diet and I just don't eat, I'm going to lose weight. I'm not telling you to eat an entire cow or to go on a starvation diet. What I'm telling you is that the answer there is somewhere in the middle, and that then and where is where our macronutrients would come into play. There are three considerations to keep in mind when looking at a macronutrient prescription. First is sex, gender, right? Dudes of the species tend to respond a little better to higher ranges of carbohydrates. Dudes are bigger and thicker in structure more often than not than female of the species. Ladies tend to respond to a little bit lower carbohydrate prescriptions just because there's a lot of moving parts there. But just again, general prescription. If you want to see something interesting, watch the dynamic of married couples, especially people that are built differently. Husband and wife sit down at the same table more often than not, and they eat the same. They eat the same, but that same tends to have different effects on the outcomes and results. So if you are a 5'4" female married to a 6'3" descendant of Vikings, you don't eat like that guy. You're going out over the weekend and going beer for beer and cheeseburger for cheeseburger. That is a horrible decision to make because your bodies are going to respond differently. Guys and ladies are different by nature. It is biology. This is not my opinion. It's just how it works. There are principles that apply to all people, certainly, but the biology is the biology and the chemistry is the chemistry. Hormones are different. It's just different. It's not good or bad. It's just different. So sex is the first consideration. The second is body type. Tall, long, lean, lanky, more carbohydrates. In the middle, ectomorphs, right? Tall, long, lean, lanky. In the middle, mesomorphs. Average height, more muscular build, slight changes in diet and training, boom, muscle on, fat off. They are just kind of like, they get like right there in the middle of that. They're pretty fortunate in that regard. And on the end of that are endomorphs. Endomorphs tend to be shorter limbed and more compact by nature and body structure, have a higher propensity to carry body fat, can slap some muscle on, and can get really friggin' strong if they want to, but also have a higher propensity to carry body fat. Lower carbohydrates, right slap in the middle, more carbohydrates. Clients of mine that are like 6'2" to 6'3" plus that want to slap weight on, they're in the realm of like 300 to 500 grams of carbohydrates a day. My God, if I did that, my eyes would glaze over and I would just be like in a complete comatose state at all points in time. Not this guy. 6'3" dude trying to slap weight on, constantly eat. 5'3" female of the species trying to drop 10 pounds, carbohydrate. Almost down to like staring at like ketogenicville. Considerations to keep in mind. The third thing is training. Back to that calorie thing. That's the baseline. The walking is still the baseline because it's low-level aerobic activity that is simple, that literally anybody can do. For me personally, I'm really going to start dialing in Murph training in a couple of weeks. My carbs are going to go up to match the training there. This past week, I came off of a deload week. My carbs have been pretty friggin' low just because I wasn't really fueling that much, just kind of hanging on and just trying to recover from getting beat up over these last however many weeks. Hopefully that makes any sense. So the answer just depends there. Want to slap muscle on? Boom, you need carbs because carbs are anabolic. A really neat stuff right now is research between the effects of carbohydrates and or sugars on cell growth, and right now on cancer or tumor cell growth. And everyone freaked out. And they're studying this stuff in laboratories. And again, I'm not going to pretend to be a chemist. I'm a social sciences guy. ABC and 1, 2, 3 is me. But they're freaking out. Like, oh my God, we've discovered that carbohydrates and or sugars and starches are fueling tumor cell growth or cancerous cell growth. And it's like, yeah, of course they're going to do that because they're anabolic, like they fuel all cell growth. On the flip side of that, it's really neat right now in regards to cancer research and prevention and treatment, what happens when we really drop that number, if maybe that's something that could be considered more preventive in the future and or in regards to treating cancer and tumor cell growth. I'm not the doctor on that. I'm just reading some of the studies and doing homework and nerding out just because it's what I do. Very interesting stuff. But again, you want to slap muscle on? You need carbs. Not vilifying those things. That is an oversimplification. So here's what I'm going to tell you. You need to read labels on food that you're eating. Check out the back of the goldfish container. Check out the back of the ketchup. Do not use condiments. Use rubs when grilling meats. The foundation of what we're going to eat is lean meats. Grill that stuff. Put rubs on it because they're going to carry protein and they're going to carry fats, right? The leaner the leaner the meat is, the drier it's going to be. So just keep that in mind. It's like grilling burgers. If it's not like 80-20 or something to that ratio, it's just going to be like chewing on a freaking shoe, and it's going to be dry as a bone because they're so lean. So lean is first and foremost, right? Because I'm going to get protein and fats from that. Half of that plate can be green. Quarter of it's lean. Half of your plate can be green. When you use salad dressings, do not use store-bought ones from containers because they're loaded with sodium and with sugar. Okay, so when you're going to put dressings on your salad, use olive oil and use different kinds of vinegar, like red wine vinegars are fine. Even apple cider vinegar is fine on a salad. It tastes pretty freaking decent. And then again, I can add some fats to that in the form of like olives and like some like different sorts of avocado and things along those lines. Last part of that is the starches. You need to measure out your starches. Buy some Tupperware containers, order the stuff online. What I've been digging into to see if there's like a custom set of Tupperware that was like specifically like geared towards some macronutrient ratios for you. I dug this up. This is from Walmart. This was like two and 3/4 cup here. This is 3/4 of a cup. So this would be my lean and or green. This would be my starches, and this would sort of be my fat source there that I would include there. So do some homework over the weekend. Dig up the how many carbohydrates from the things that you typically eat, how much proteins and how much the meat that you're getting every day, how many fats are you getting and different oils and sources like that, almonds, cashews, things like that. Let me know how that goes. Reach out with any questions. We need to schedule a meeting, even if we just do like a Google Meet or Zoom meeting in the next few days. Because I really want to know how the eating's been going. And it's tough sometimes with just a phone conversation in 10 minutes. So let's schedule a time to talk shop soon coming up. Have a great weekend. Take care, and I'll be in touch. God bless.